Hi, my name is Mariano Goni and I'm going to explain step by step how to use the Now app. But first, a little history. Why I created this kind of app and prediction. I wanted to be able to do a prediction without someone helping me and without obvious input methods. People is used to Siri, and Siri is voice recognition. So the first thing they come up with you when you perform a prediction on somebody else's phone, it says, oh, it's the voice, and that's a problem. That's actually a problem. So in this case, we are moving a little backwards with technology to text recognition, OCR, optical character recognition. This allows you to just perform the trick as if you're doing nothing. Since your phone seems to be off, nobody knows exactly how it's done. Because it's off, they don't suspect. What you're going to need is to download the app either on your iPhone or your Android. The registration looks the same on an Android phone, on an iPhone phone, or a computer. In order to set up your account, you are going to pick up your package and you're going to find a slip of paper with a website and a redeem code. Okay? So you enter with any browser, could be your smartphone or your computer. In the website, you enter the redeem code, you complete the CAPTCHA if you're asked to, and then click on Submit. A registration form opens. So, the first field is user ID. Okay? What this means, you don't have to put your full name. Just go for the shortest combination of one or two letters of your name and maybe a number. Just try to register. If you, for example, your name is Milton, you put M-I. If that username is taken, go for another one like M-I-L. But try to keep it short. You understand why later. I'm going to put Mil. So, email, your email, password, let's say 4 numbers, a capital letter, and lowercase letters, and select your language. What is this of the language? We have English USA, English UK, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish. What this means? When you place the prediction on the spectator's phone, it's going to end up on, let's say, google.com in USA, google.co.uk in the UK. If you live in Germany, of course, it's going to end up in the German Google. You select from there the correct one and hit register. When you hit register, it's going to say you're correctly registered and your username is MIL, for example. Now let's get into how to install the app in your iPhone. So after you register, you go to download and install the app. On iPhone, you're going to find into your package a slip of paper with the instructions to download and install the app. On Android, you're going to go to Google Play, search for Now Mariano Goni, or even only my name, Mariano Goni, and you're going to see the app in the first position. Open it and click Install. And that's it. Open the app and you're going to see 4 buttons. hit the first one which says existing users login, okay? You're going to see the main app screen. This is the same on both Android and iPhone. So from now on, the explanations will be the same for both systems. Complete your user details, email and password, and hit login. Now that the device is ready to go, in the next section, I'm going to explain how it works. Here's a quick overview of how the trick or the whole system works. You enter your login details. For performance, you hit the screen off and you hit login. So your app is going to run and it's going to appear to be off. This phone is placed on the table or hidden, and it's going to send the word to the spectator's phone. This phone could be an Android or an iPhone, doesn't matter, or a computer. So here you enter to the website and select where you want to predict. To Google, to Wikipedia, to Amazon or YouTube. It's going to be waiting for the input. The input we're going to test in the next section by having a rectangle of paper. Try to be a thickness of cardboard, because if you use normal thickness paper, it's going to wobble and the word maybe is not picked up by the app, okay, correctly. Most of the time it gets okay. So let's see in action how the website works. So you ask for the phone of a spectator. Could be any phone, would be an iPhone or an Android or even a computer. And you say, I'm going to place a prediction there. Without them looking, of course, you go to C12 on iPhone, C12.co, not C-O-M, C-O, okay? /1. Hit go, you get this screen. User ID, remember your short ID? That's where you put it there. In this case, I'm going to put this. Choose site. Choose site lets you select between the sites, Google, Amazon, Wikipedia, or YouTube. And there's one more thing here, but it's normally not used. It says, I forgot. If you take forever in the website, it fires and goes to Google. This is a security measure in case you forget the phone there or somebody enters to fiddle in the website. So we're going to enter again. Now, the second time you enter the website on the same phone, you should go / and C of clear. Why? This is so the spectator cannot enter by himself if he finds what the website is. You're going to see a blank screen. This is a blank screen, but it's a secret button here. If you touch the top of the screen, you go back to your menu. Now, let's do it fast. User, long is for a security measure that I'm going to explain in the next section. Select Google and hit enter. It's going to be in apparently Google, but this is waiting for the app to send the word. This is placed face down on a table on the hand of spectator, and this is how the trick works. So let's test by writing a word of 4 or more letters, because it won't work if, for example, you write down 3 letters. Okay? Let's try with the word Beatles. Just put it over your iPhone for a second and check that in the phone of the spectator appears the word Beatles and the picture of the Beatles. You can hold this higher, of course. It doesn't need to be 20 centimeters away or 10 centimeters. The ideal distance and perfect with this size of letters would be 30, 40, 50 centimeters. If the spectator happens to be curious and tries to go back with the browser, he will see nothing, the Google page. Even if he enters the history here, he will see nothing but his current history and your search in Google. This is because in the iPhone Safari, it leaves absolutely no trace. Let's test on Android. Open your app, fill the login, select screen off and login. So the screen will go off and place your phone facing you, because it should read that way. Enter the website c11.com, the first time, c11.com, and the subsequent times, or second time or third time, you go to c11.com/c. So write down any word of more than 4 letters, for example this one. If you hold it vertically over the phone, it's not going to be picked off. Make sure you don't cover any letters, otherwise you get strange results. And tilt the paper or the cardboard over the phone. Just 1 or 2 seconds. And the word must appear there. Just for the sake of completeness, in Android, if someone hits back, it's going to be Google. But if it goes to the history, it's going to find history is the 3 points here. Okay? And it says rush hour, Google, and then in the second it says Google, and it says c12.com because it is your secret. If they happen to click there, they go to Google. If they write down the website, it's going to go to Google. But still, if you don't like them to see that mysterious website, you have an option. If you don't want, you go. When you are entering here, you go to Google, you hit enter, and now, instead of placing the phone face down, you go and you press these 2 little dots there, and you go to the history actually, you click history, and you're going to see the 2 first are the strange websites. And you simply hit the cross. So you erase that from the history, you close, and now you put it down. It's 2 steps more if you want to be absolutely untraceable in Android. Let's check what happens. I put rush hour appears, and now if I go to the history, the search is rush hour and nothing more. All his normal history will be there. But as I said, this is for 1% of the population that's going to be looking at the history and remembering and searching for something strange. Or 12-year-old kids. Don't perform this because they're going to search their phone to death. And make sure you do this in Android. If you are doing the trick in an iPhone, you don't need any of this. the traces are automatically wiped out. The user interface is the same both in Android and iPhone, so let's check each part of the app. We have the option of the screen off, okay? Here, if you put it on, when you log in, the screen will be off. If it's on, you're going to see the actual camera, okay? This is for you to practice at what distance to put or to place the word or the cards or whatever. So you learn. The second button is low coverage. Low coverage is in case you are on a place that you know you have low coverage, the app is going to pick it up and continue sending the word every 3 seconds. So let's say you show the word, you don't know of course, but if there's low coverage, could be a micro cut and the word gets not sent. So to be absolutely certain, you use low coverage, but only if you have low coverage. Then you have camera, rear or front. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. If you are hiding the phone somewhere, it is better to use the rear camera, so it's a better camera on all the mobile phones. And if you're placing openly the phone on the table, you use the front camera, okay? We're going to select front camera and the screen off and hit login. The screen will go off. Let's say you perform the trick, now it's reading, but let's say you perform the trick and then you want to go back, okay? You want to close the app. So in Android, you swipe down from top to bottom and you hit back and you're in the interface. And on iPhone, you swipe right, watch. So that was a little overview of how the app works. And now let's see some of the nuances of the actual performance. How to write so the app can pick up the text correctly and doesn't fail. Well, it's not that difficult. You have to use uppercase letters, okay, capital letters, and make sure the space in between letters is the same. Because I'm going to, for example, write down the word March, okay? It happens. If you write like this, March, and there's a slight space in between the R and the C, is going to pick it up as a space because it's different. So make sure the spacing is even between letters. The little spacing, I mean, not the spacing between words. One thing about one letter in special is the J. Okay, the J must be written like this, as opposed, like I do normally, is this. This kind of J can be picked up as a T instead of a J. So make sure that your J is like this. You'll be okay. Now, the size of the writing, well, it depends if you have the phone closer or you have the phone, you know, at a greater distance. Yeah, you can have it depending on the size. You should experiment on the size of the writing and the thickness of your Sharpie, and you can place the phone at maybe half a meter or 50 centimeters or more. Let's talk about multiple lines of text. Yes, the app can pick up multiple lines of text. But if you, for example, I'm going to write down the name of an artist like this and a song on the second line. Okay, so if you show this and you are predicting on Google, okay, Google are going to join the two lines and there's no space. So that's a strange thing. You're going to see the correct pictures of the song, the artist, but it's going to say Lady Gaga face, poker face all together. That's strange. So when you're doing multiple lines, try to use the predictions on YouTube and Amazon. Those two show the results and don't show the actual search that you made. So a simple rule. On Google and Wikipedia, do a single line search or writing, single line. Okay? You can do spacing. You can do like this. It's okay. For Google, it's going to say birds of whatever. And that's it for the multiple lines. Open Google. Okay. So I'm going to search for an image of something is around here, okay? As a prediction. You trust me with the phone or what? Okay.
Just don't break it in half.
No. Okay. Okay. Let me think. I got it. Okay, we got the image here. I'm gonna place the phone there, face down. And when I say now, you're going to point to any object in the room, okay? You're in? I'm gonna write it down just to. It's like, how about this? This is, okay? Yeah? Do you want me to sign this for you?
Sure.
Okay. Just in case, I'll sign. He could have pointed to any object closer in the room. Take a look. Okay, the first type of performance is the almost impromptu one. I carry with myself these slips of paper, cardboard, a little thick, and you can just buy some cardboard sheets and just cut your rectangles, and I carry with me in my wallet here. When I want to perform, obviously, I have the slips there, and all I need is a Sharpie. And I try to carry with me a Sharpie at all times. And this is the main reason of why the trick is called now. You'll see it in a moment. I place the prediction on the spectator's phone, and then I say, look around wherever we are and think of an object that's in the room. And when I say now, you're going to point to that object without saying a word. Okay. Ta. Now, they point, they say to a lamp. And you point. Normally people try to point to distant objects. I don't know why. But you say the object can be here in the table or outside the table. Let's say they point to a lamp. You point and you say, this? He says, he nods yes. And you write it down and show, of course. And you say, is this? He says, yes. If it's not, and you say, you write down lamp, and he was pointing to the wall, don't worry. Use the other side and say, oh, sorry, that. You go to the object. You're free to move around to the wall and you touch the wall. You actually touch the object. So you use the other side, say, oh, wall. No, never say it, forget it. So this, he says, yes, perfect. Now, in case you have missed the first object and it says lamp here, you cannot say then, you want me to sign. So you're going to show this, not this. And you are pointing, as you do this and this, you're pointing to your mobile, okay? And the trick is done, the trick is done. Normally, my reason to point and to place this in this position is to ask a question. And when you ask this question, you look in the eye. You write down, for example, they point to a bottle, you write down bottle. Okay? This is like this. You hold the Sharpie with the hand that you write, of course. No, not the other one. So you want this. Do you want me to sign this or not? And this is a question. It's a meaningful question. And you look in the eye. So you put it there. You don't sign, actually. You mimic. And you move this hand, but you don't move this one. It's just reading. Do you want me to sign this for you? And wait for the answer. No. Okay. Yes. Don't sign it there. Sign it on the table. And then you give this as a souvenir. And then you say, take a look at the phone. And that's the prediction. And that's the first performance. YouTube is a social network, and as so, it's very chaotic in the sense that everybody can upload a video and name it as they want. So it's not perfect. Normally, if you put the name of a movie correctly and the actor or the song and the singer, it will come out correctly. But sometimes it won't. Let's try an experiment. Name, for example, Katy Perry. Do you want me to sign this? And so we're trying with a different, for example, a movie, okay? Name any movie.
Rush Hour.
Okay, that's a good one. But this is the name of a movie, but it could be anything. Yeah, it could be another video. If I write down the name of one of the actors in the movie, it probably get it, you know. If I place Jackie Chan on there, YouTube instantly searches correctly. But let's see what happens if we use this one. You go like this. Do you want me to sign this? Yes or no? And we get a commercial. Don't worry, it's a commercial. This is normal. I'm gonna skip it and Rush Hour funny moments. This is not bad because we're getting to a video that has Russian. It relates to the movie. So when you first place your prediction, lower the volume, okay? You lower the volume to the minimum completely, and you say, okay, that's it, there's a commercial. Just you mention it. There's a commercial playing. You place the phone face down, and they whisper whatever. Let's say they whisper Rush Hour. Okay, so you do your trick. And remember, this is a commercial play. And you say, you talk, now the commercial supposedly is playing. If YouTube shoots a commercial, if it don't, it's the video. So the first thing you do, you don't know if they have the app of YouTube installed or not. You don't know, you don't care. You go hit up the volume. In this case, because the app is installed, it's going to start playing the video and the sound, and you hear the sound, and that's okay. And then you show. In this case, it's still the ad. Okay. Some ads, as I said, last longer than others. Normally, you should talk about and elaborate why, or talk about actors or something. And rush hour. What happens if you hit the volume up and you hear nothing? In that case, you go up, and you hear nothing. Then you know that the app is not installed and the video must be playing silently there. So you do this. You do this, and then you pick to effectively check that the video is the correct one and it's mute. And then you have two options. You explain, I'm gonna hit activate sound so we can hear with one finger. And you go like this and hit activate sound and start playing, and you show the video. But first they hear and then they see. Or you have the option of take it for yourself and you activate the sound. But the problem with that is that the spectator takes a seat, and if he is the object of the trick, he's going to see the video playing and immediately react. And you, no, hit play, hit sound. No. So if you want that, don't give the phone to the owner, but direct other spectator to pick it up and say, would you please hit activate the sound? And normally the second spectator does that. That's hits, and the first one hears, and then he shows, and everybody knows. There's no problem if there's no YouTube app. One more thing with the YouTube or video prediction. Ask the spectator if he has the Bluetooth on, because most people has the headphones, connected, and in that case, the sound will not come out of the phone, but it come out from the ear pods or whatever they have. So ask them to turn on the Bluetooth, and you'll be okay. This effect is fully customizable, so here are two ways in that I customized it for me. You're free to perform them exactly as I do, but you can also try your own way and ideas to customize this effect. For the sake of completeness, I'm going to explain a stand-up version. So you don't need any table, any chair, anything, but you need a jacket with a front breast pocket, okay? You're going to place your phone, just fire the app, cover the lens until the very last moment, and put it on your pocket. Then it should be the lens just seeing, the whole place. But cover it and take a personal card of yours and stick it there, covering the lens. So you have your personal card here. Yeah, as strange as it might seem. Then take a sheet of paper, a fairly big one, maybe an A4 folded in half, this, and draw a question mark, for example, or whatever it is, whatever you want, and then you perform on this side of the sheet of paper. Let's say they choose chair, and you write down chair, okay? So in this case, we're using this kind of paper that's not very thick, because we're not holding like this, horizontal but vertical. And in vertical there's no problem, there's no movement, and it's pretty steady. So remember, you have your phone here covered with your personal business card, so it's not seeing anything yet. Why? Because if someone passes with letters, as a bus or something, it's going to pick it up. Okay, so show to everybody and then turn it around with the left, so you are in this position, and as you turn it around, you immediately take out your business card and you say, I'm going to give you my business card. Like this. I'm going to give you my business card so you remember me all your life. And you give the business card and the paper. And that's it, because it says, the only thing it says is the word. It's gets sent and then you forget. And that's it, stand-up version of Now. So, because I'm gonna search for an image in Google of something around here. Okay, I'm gonna, like a prediction. Perfect. There. Okay, we'll try this object. Let's see if the image shows up. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna leave your phone right there with the image. Well, when I say now, you are going to point to any object around here. Don't say it out loud, just point it. Now. Ooh, this one. So you want this object. But remember, you could have selected any of these objects, but you selected this one. Go ahead and take a look. This is the impossible version, or the long setup version, because you have objects, and let's say this is the spectator's phone that's waiting, and they select, for example, this, and you say, do you want this? There you got it. It's a bottle. As you correctly may have guessed, underneath each of the objects is the name of the object. Yeah, the bottle, and the iPhone, and you can set up as in a, TV magic show. All the city is labeled on the bottom. All the city. If you work in a magic show, if you can do it in a small space like a table, you can just label all the items and you're good to go. You just hold the item, just make sure you hold the correct way and not the other way around, okay? So just, you want this one? And just take a look. There's no writing, an impossible version. Let's say you're at a corporate gig and you know by their website the products, the different products of the company. You can prepare in advance all the labels, and then at the place you just stick them underneath the objects or the products around the table. Just call the CEO and all the employees and perform the trick. For example, I won't say, but this is what it is. And you want this? Are you sure you want this? Yes. Okay, so you got the lens cap as in the performance. Open Google if you want. Open Google.
What's that?
Google. Just Google. Because I'm going to search for an image of one celebrity here as a prediction. Okay? Maybe you have a favorite actor or actress. Maybe. But maybe it's not in the list. Also, maybe, I mean, there's 52 and it's difficult, but maybe it's there.
Okay.
I'm gonna search for.
Paul Walker.
Oh, no, don't tell. Let's. Okay, I got one. I got one.
Okay.
I'm gonna place your phone there, face down, and I'm gonna go through them, and you say never name. Just say that one, or stop.
Okay.
Should be one of these.
That one.
That one.
Yeah.
Important information for you. But that's. I'm gonna leave. So that guy, I'm gonna, here. Do you remember any movie? Any movie with that guy? Mm-hmm. Okay. Any scene in particular?
Yeah.
Which one?
From the Mummy movie, right?
Okay. Remember, I placed a picture of a celebrity there. Turn it over.
Oh my god.
Okay, this system allows to a lot of personal options or personalization options or customization. In this case, I made online. I made a deck of cards with celebrity pictures on them. Okay, I have a lot. They are 54 different ones. Okay, 54, and they have the name on the back. Actually, the name of them is placed upside down. If I show the card like this, you see Johnny Depp, and the name is upside down. You'll see why in a moment. But this, remember, doesn't have to be celebrities. You can use it, for example, for a company. They have products, and you say, I'm going to use your products in a special pack to do the trick. For example, cars, walls, or whatever the company does. Let's show you very easily and very quickly how this works or how this is performed. Somebody selects one, you show the celebrity, and you call it to the bottom. So they think it's still in the middle of the pack, while in reality it's at the bottom. Now, I go for a second subtlety here, and it's to put it on the box. And the box, as you may have thought, has a window that opens. So, place it on the box, and now you ask. You could have chosen any one of these celebrities. Anyone. That's it. Now turn over the phone, and that's the celebrity. And that's the celebrity's trick. The font should be a clear font. Don't choose, a strange font. And I put the name of celebrities short, with short surnames and names, because if you go for Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's going to become a really small font, and maybe it's not being seen by the camera. Okay? So that's the position that's in the middle of the card, because I make the window in the middle, big enough to be seen when I place the cards on the back like this. So this is not difficult at all. You just cut a U shape there, and you perfectly see the name there. And that's it with the celebrities. So you can get these cards online, make online by yourself at makeplayingcards.com. I have postcards here, you know, from all the states and 50 states.
Okay.
But I want to make a prediction either on your phone or your computer if you want. What do you want, a phone or computer? I'm going to search in Google for a state, for a picture. Sure, I can. So think, no, don't think anything. I just place the prediction first, okay? Let me see. It could be. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. Let me search for a place in a state. A beautiful place. Just a bit more difficult. I'm gonna leave the phone here on top of your computer, and I'm gonna go like this, passing. And some of these pictures, or one, is going to bring you a memory, maybe from when you were a child, for example. If one of these brings that memory, you say stop, okay? Could be this one. Take your time, there's a lot. Maybe you travel when you were a kid to here.
Stop.
Okay, here. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to leave this here. Do you have a memory from childhood at that place?
Yeah, well, not childhood, but like college.
From college?
Yeah.
Right. So I want you to take a look at your phone.
No way. That's
Thank you.
I don't even know how you do that, dude.
Okay, the postcards effect. This maybe is the most elaborate of all the effects. In order to completely disguise the method and the full. This comprises two parts: the postcards and the basket. The basket, I got one basket for the size approximately of my phone, so I can place my phone inside, and then with the fake bottom that I cut from another one of the basket, I place with the notch that lets the camera view from the inside, you know. So then I place the postcards inside, and this could be a thing in any coffee shop or a house or whatever. Or you arrive at the table, someone say, I'm going to do a trick. No one is going to say, why do you have a basket with postcards? They simply don't. They say, okay, do the trick. You go like this. And you say, I have a postcard, and you place the basket in the correct position with the camera looking at you, okay? Now the second part, if someone selects one of the postcards and you hold the postcard on top of like this, well, so you know, for us it's pretty obvious. So that's why the first postcard has the name of the second postcard on it here, and the second postcard of the third one, and so on. So when you run the postcards and someone selects one, let's say they select Wyoming, okay? We'll get to this later. You are here, you are not here, you are here, outside of the basket, passing the pictures. They say stop here. And you can do whatever you want with this. Hold or place it on the table. And then with the rest, because the last one is going to say what the picture is. It doesn't say Wyoming. In order for Google to show the correct picture, it should be the same place, of course. And in this case, it's Morning Glory Pool. So it says Morning Glory Pool. So I say, you could have chosen from a lot of states, but the picture is here. So they don't make the connection, from this to this. It's impossible. Then you drop this, and the trick is done. We try to get the picture, as I said, the same. So when they get to see, it's going to say Morning Glory Pool. Since the picture is the same, it must be the same place. For the people who live in Wyoming, they know the Morning Glory Pool is there. But, you know, maybe someone from another country, they don't know. So in the case of the postcards, I recommend this, no? So I recommend changing for the exact same picture. In this case, this is the Space Needle Seattle. What I did is I searched in Google for the Space Needle. So I put the exact wording for the correct picture to appear. So you don't go you have to do a little of work so you get similar pictures. This is a classic one. Mesa Arch will appear correctly. So, of course, you can perform the postcard tricks without a basket. This is an addition that I thought it was okay. And that's the trick. Thank you very much. So where do you get the postcards? You get the postcards in Amazon, for example. Just search for world postcards or any postcards, but I choose to be state postcards. And you get this, okay? If you don't want to print, you have to type the name of any postcard, of course, and print and then cut and glue to the back. That's the ideal because printed words or letters will be picked up by the camera really fast and good. But if you don't want, you just write down with the Sharpie with correct typography and you're done. Just buy them and write them on the back. Make sure, if you're performing, that you have a clean shirt with those letters. That's the ideal. Because if you have, like me, an outfit that has text or letters, which is very common, and you happen to actually lean on the phone that is watching, it's going to pick up the words or the letters, whatever, and it's going to send it, and basically the trick will not work. So you either be aware of not being close with with your body to the phone, or just use a normal plain shirt. Let's talk about the speed at what you show the text to the camera. I mean, if you go slowly, let's say you write down this and say, hey, and you want to be very open and casual, and you go like, da, 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 da. No. If you do that, slowly, it's going to pick the first words and send them. And it's not the complete text. So, you don't do this, and you don't do this. Because it's strange. The ideal position is being right up, vertical on the phone, and a sharp movement, or simply going like this, it's okay. So it's not there, it is there completely, okay? But you don't come with the word like this. Otherwise, it can fail. Now, you can leave, when you write, you try to leave a space on the left side of the cardboard so you can actually pick it up and don't cover any letter by accident, of course. If you go like this, you can be covering some letters and it won't pick the whole letter. Okay, let's talk about how long should you hold the word on top of your phone. I said no less than 2 seconds, because maybe it takes a second to pick it up and another second to send, so I should say 2 seconds. 2 seconds is like this. Da 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 da. That's 2 seconds. If you stay longer, there's no problem, as long as you're steady. You don't go like this over the phone, obviously, but you can be holding it longer as long as it is natural, okay? For example, I've done this. They select something from this pack, and I go, do you want to change your mind? I can be like this all day, and this is natural because I'm waiting for his answer. If he answers no, I could be waiting more. So, are you sure you want this? No. Okay. I've been there 5 seconds. So, in reality, if you place correctly on top of the phone, it's 2 seconds. You can remove it and forget, and it will go to the spectator's phone. If you're concerned about the spectator changing at the last minute, if you go like, are you sure you want this one? And she says, oh no, I want to change my mind. Of course, it's already sent. You cannot change. Just use this phrase. Remember that you could have chosen any card in the back. Yeah? Yes, and that's it. No changing. Another thing is to disguise the phone, that the fact of that the phone is on the table. You can place objects next to it, okay, your keys, your wallet, and especially fooling is to place something on top of the phone. Okay, just place my wallet. Obviously, you don't cover the camera. If you cover the camera, it won't work. So don't cover. Just let the camera spy on an angle. And this is very disarming because no one thinks you're using the phone. It's covered by something. This, or if you're performing with a pack of cards, you place the card case on top. And extreme options include faking a notebook, for example, making a hole in the notebook and placing the phone there, and that's all really not necessary, but you can do it if you want. This is a tip for if someone points to an object that has 3 letters, for example, make it into a longer version of the word. For example, if it points to a dog, you write down dogs in plural. And that's it. The ideal position is to have a table between you and the spectators, so you can fire up the app and just place your phone in the table and do the trick. That's the ideal position, facing them. Think about this. If you are performing the trick to this spectator to your right, you should place your phone pointing to him, because you are going to to talk to him. Okay, so it's normal that you say this or this to him. It's unnatural to be talking to him, and if you have your phone here, you go like, "Are you sure you want this?" This is very unnatural and will show that something strange is happening. Normally, you have chairs next to the tables, so why not use them to hide the phone instead of placing it on the table? If you have a free chair or the chair that you're using to sit, if you want to perform the effect, you go up, leave your phone right there watching, and you perform in the edge of the table, okay? Just make sure sometimes to check the lighting, so you make sure it is picking correctly and you see the word being picked, if you can, of course. Sometimes you cannot check because it's live, but if you have a free chair and table, just go and check. If someone enters or stands up or whatever and they see a chair and your phone there, it's going to be a little suspicious if you don't take it quickly. So here's another option to cover all this. If you have a backpack or anything that you can place, okay, even your coat, you fold your coat and you place your phone on top. Not only the phone will be closer but out of view, but it's natural to see that. That's no problem. Someone left stuff there, the backpack, the coat, and the phone on top. That is completely normal, and no one is going to be the wiser. Let's say you're performing at a bar with stools and no actual tables. Okay, it's normal if you say, "I'm going to do a trick, and please can I borrow this?" And you move one of the chairs and you place it in the right, and you place your spectators there. This is working as your table because you need it. And you take out your wallet, for example, if you're going to perform with the slip of paper, and then you take a phone. Of course, it's already logged in and all that. And I said, I'm not going to use my phone. Instead, I'm going to use your phone. That's it. That's perfect situation. It's normal because everyone will forget about this. They don't even think about you're performing and you are showing the card on top, because this is your performing area. So it's okay. Lighting. The worst type of light that you can get for this trick is a spot right on top of you. Okay? It's a strong light only on top of you and your phone. So if you turn the phone and leave the camera on, the screen on, you see what happens. You're going to see that the camera picks up like a mini sun. It's a sun, a white, and you hold something on top, and it's barely visible basically because of the bright light on top, and it's going to project the shadow. So try to get to places with light that bounces off the walls, like it's happening normally in all places, not like a laser-like light. It bounces off, daylight is perfect. Once I went to a table in a restaurant, I say hello, put my mobile, and I saw that when I placed I was performing with the pack of postcards. When I put the postcards on top of the phone, it was a terrible shadow. I couldn't see the phone because the light was on top. And I said, ooh, I'm sure this is not getting the letters, okay? So what I did is I did a second try by not placing on top like this, but like this. So you allow some light that's naturally bouncing off the table, and it reads. It also reads in this position. Just don't go full vertical. Just go for 45 in case you got a strong light from the top. You go like this, and you will be okay. It's going to be read. And the rest of the lights bouncing off the walls or daylight, all that will be okay lighting. So to summarize, you gotta look for places that are fairly well lit, so not too dark, but also not with a bright spot over you, okay? All the rest are okay. I've already give you some examples of how to hide your phone when performing, but here's a couple more. If you really want to hide, for example, we have a phone here. Actually, it's an iPhone 5 that's inside of a card case. It doesn't fit completely, but you have the option. In this case, I'm using the front camera. You can use the back camera, and you can cut a small hole here. This is a bad box because it's red, but if you get a blue one, better. And if you look, if you open completely, or better, if you place something on top, you're good to go. No one is going to take a look at that one hole of a card case, and you perform on top of this. Other options, more elaborate, is to, for example, I have a glass table at home which has flowers on the bottom. So the distance may be 20 centimeters from the flowers to the glass on the top. It's a closed box, and it's sitting there in my living room. Imagine, I remove the glass, I place my phone there, I cover the phone with the flowers and put the glass again, and I did a trick to my magician friends, of course. No idea. If you write down something and you place it on the table, it will simply, the phone will pick it up from the bottom of the table. But this is especially good if you work at a counter. Magic shops will be using this. In a magic shop, you normally have a glass counter and all the tricks and decks on the bottom. Inside. So you go, you get up any box where your mobile fits, you get a small hole, and when you want to perform, you just log in, put it in there in the counter, and you're ready to fool your customers because you'll write down, say yes, and you put it on the table. And that's it. It's impossible to be wrong. There's no movement there. Then just let your creativity work and elaborate on where to hide the mobile. But I normally don't hide. When I perform, I use it on plain view. Now that we know how the complete system works and all the options about lighting, distance, and all the details, let's go into the performance situations. Let's talk about outside performances. When you perform outside, make sure at least you test once the reflection of light, because sometimes if the light source is too bright, when you place something, an object for the camera to pick up, it's going to be too dark. Okay, you need some surface next to you to reflect back the light. In this case, we are in a studio, so we have a white background reflecting the strong light. But if you are outside and let's say you have the ground is dark, like gray, and a great table of wood, the light can be so strong from the sun, even if it's cloudy, that the card will show up completely dark and it's not getting a good reading. Okay, and just move your phone and your card and tilt the card a little, like 45 angles, so some light hits the card and you will be good. Another thing to consider is if you're performing under trees, trees, the branches of the trees sometimes form letters like L's or O's or whatever, or E's. So the phone can pick that up and form a strange word. So make sure your phone is not picking up those branches when you perform. If you're worried about your phone picking some words early because of the trees or something in the ceiling or something like that, just go like this. This is how it looks in real time. I'm not going to use my phone, but your phone. Also this, I take the phone, open, place the prediction, okay, put it face down, point to anything. I point to a bird. You write the word bird, show it to everybody, and then as you turn, you're going to pocket all this. Okay, this, you pocket all this. If you want, you say sign or not, and it's done. Okay, it's done. Remember, this is only in case you have a very busy ceiling on top of you with things, or maybe it says happy birthday, or tubes it can be interpreted as an I or LL or something like that. In that case, you do this. Okay? Final points is take your time when you're writing and write it well, and don't rush it when you are holding the card over the phone. Don't run when nobody's chasing you. Okay? Again, I want to thank you guys for buying this trick and thank all the creators that has similar products, for example, Greg Rostami with Inject, or Mark Kerstein with his Airworm. There are different methods of input of reaching the same result, an amazing prediction. So again, thank you, and we'll see you at my next trick.